Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Barakahak Wadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. Shalom. This is the brother Ra'aya coming at you with another lesson. And I'm going to start it off in Jeremiah chapter 4, verses 30 to 31. And, this is talking about the nation of Israel overall. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who, you're disobedient to the Lord and, followed after these other nations and their gods, and you were punished accordingly. But hey, it can also be applied to you Israelite women as well, because, for the majority of our women and, our nation as a whole, but I'm focusing on the women. What have you done? You've betrayed your men, you betrayed your nation for the government, for Esau and for this worldly system, feminism. And, as we can clearly see, Trump's starting to take away those goodies. Prices are going up and things are getting bad out here. And, you're going to have a lot more to worry about than not being able to pay your bills. You're going to have men coming after you, whether it be men you scorned in the past or regular, men who just, gonna come and take you. These are the times we are quickly coming into in Jacob's trouble. Great judgment is about to come to pass, and a lot of you women are gonna, take it to the dome. But this is Jeremiah chapter 4, verses 30 to 31. And when thou art spoiled, what wilt thou do? Though thou clotheth thyself with crimson, though thou deckest thee with ornaments of gold, though thou rentest thy face with painting, making yourself look good, the makeup, the eyelashes, the perfume, the skimpy attire, in vain shalt thou make thyself fair. Thy lovers will despise thee. They will seek thy life. And like I, opened up with saying, our nation as a whole went off and followed after these other gods and nations and made themselves look good for them. And what? These very same nations the Lord used to judge us and put us down. So you women out here, you've done all these little tricks and manipulations to, gain the system and gain men. But what? It's all coming back on you. These very same men are going to come after your life. Verse 31, for I have heard a voice as of a woman in travail, and the anguish as of her that bringeth forth her first child, the voice of the daughter of Zion, that bewaileth herself, that spreadeth her hands, saying, woe is me now, for my soul is wearied because of murderers. And now I'm going to go to 2 bits of information showing that, judgment is coming down on the pipeline for you women. These men are getting more aggressive out here and coming at you women. And, you've got, the red pill and the MGTOW movement. And you've also got something called the male loneliness epidemic. Men that just, they can't get women. And, they're just going without for weeks, months, years. And, you can look it up. It's medically unhealthy for a man to, go without, physical contact with a woman. That's a major part of a man's mental health. So, a lot of these men are getting antsy out here. And, everybody can see the writing on the wall that society is getting ready for a great upheaval. And men are definitely going to take advantage of it, coming after you women. But the first bit of information I'll be going to is a YouTube short from Biker Madness's YouTube channel titled Man Throws Water at Female Biker After She Rejects Him. This is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes.
Let me pull that video up.
I'm really not. Holy shit!
This female biker got approached by a man asking for her number. She kindly declined and offered her Instagram, but bro's ego couldn't handle a soft no, so he threw a cup of water at her.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
Look, my name's John.
Nice to meet you.
I couldn't help but notice over there. So like, came over here to say what's up.
Hi.
Your number though.
No, I don't give a. I can give you my Instagram.
Nah, I don't do all that social media shit. Like,
Well,
what's your number?
I
We
don't
can
give
talk
out
a
my
little
number.
bit.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Are you trying to be funny though?
I'm not. I'm really not. Holy shit! What the fuck? That's crazy. People these days, what the actual fuck?
Jamie, pull that video.
And hey, could have been worse. Even then, throwing water in somebody's face is pretty extreme. But as you can see, that man didn't want the Instagram. He wanted the digits. And when the woman, and she handled it, she wasn't mean or aggressive or condescending to him, and what? She still got water thrown in her face. Like I was just saying, these men, due to all these issues out here, hey, they're getting much more aggressive. And as society continues to collapse and there's less things in place to keep men from doing things and breaking the law or going to jail, hey, it's going to get much more aggressive than just throwing water, which brings me to my next bit of information from an article on lawandcrime.com. How could you do this to me? Man shot his friend in the eye after she told him she wasn't ready for a relationship, DA says. So in the first bit of information, it was water. This bit of information, it was hot lead. And there's two people right there. The man, Jose Lopez Zique, he Northern Kingdom, so-called Latino, and the woman, Kaylee Arseth, which, she looks like she could be Northern Kingdom as well, or a Moabite or a so-called Chinese. But, regardless. A Minnesota man whose romantic overtures were rejected by a 22-year-old woman on Snapchat allegedly deleted her a day later, shooting a bullet through her right eye at close range inside her own home during an argument, as police say he shouted, "How could you do this to me? My soul is wearied because of the murderers, and thy lovers shall seek thy life." And while that verse was talking about nation of Israel, so Israelite women, Jacob's trouble is going to affect all you nations of women out here. But the only difference being that for you Israelite women, again, you so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American woman, you have a chance at being saved from these calamities, which we'll get into a little later. Jose Luis Lopez Zique, 27, was charged Monday in Hennepin County with second-degree murder for the June 27 shooting death of Kaylee Arseth. His criminal complaint details how he allegedly executed Arseth, a very bright, sassy, funny, and caring woman from Richfield who loved working with children, according to her obituary, at her residence that Friday night after being rejected the day before. Lopez Zique would buy things for the victim on shopping trips, but the relationship was not romantic or sexual, the complaint alleges, citing interviews with friends. And I'm gonna give a bit of advice to you men and women out there. For you men, don't be friends with women out here. Now, there is caveats, if you had a childhood friend or a family friend, that's a little different. But just going out here in 2025 and being friends with women, what are we doing? You know exactly why, you're dealing with that woman, to ultimately deal with her sexually, maybe get a relationship out of it. Anything else besides that is a waste of time. Hey, and as we can see from this, article, what did it lead to in extreme circumstances? And, for you women as well, hey, don't be playing and stringing along men out here. As we just read, he was buying stuff for her on shopping trips. And, looking at both of them, you can clearly see she would have never had any interest in this guy. She was just stringing him along and, getting the benefits from him, which with the times we're coming into, that's going to be a very dangerous thing for you women to be doing out here. Hey, so it's best to just keep it cordial and maybe get some water thrown in your face instead of, getting something else thrown in your face. And, to you women out there that already have a man and he's doing right by you, hey, especially if he's a man of the Lord, hey, you better be on your P's and Q's. The victim's computer was located in her apartment and was logged into her Snapchat account. Investigators noticed that the victim and Lopez ZK had a best friend badge with a streak that had just ended, the document says. A review of the messages in the days leading up to the victim's death revealed that defendant Lopez ZK was asking victim for a romantic relationship with actual dates. Victim responded to defendant that she was only interested in a friendship and did not feel a romantic attraction to defendant. Oh, you're just like a big brother to me. According to prosecutors, Lopez ZK told Arseth that he wanted to see more effort from her in their relationship. Arseth asked him if he was free on June 16th to help her with her motorcycle. Lopez ZK allegedly offered to pick her up that night after work, and Arseth stated that she would let him know about his suggested plan per the complaint. On June 16th at 2:55 p.m., Arseth contacted Lopez ZK on Snapchat and told him, "I did enjoy hanging out with you, big brother, but I don't have enough mental capacity for any type of relationship right now." Hey, what's that saying? Alpha fucks, beta bucks. I'm trying to figure out myself as well as manage my relationship with my parents, and I'm overwhelmed and stressed already. Location analysis of Lopez ZK's phone showed that he was allegedly at Arseth's apartment building beginning at 3:38 p.m. on June 16th. He sent his very last message to her from that location, with his phone remaining at the apartment until 4:49 p.m. according to the complaint. Now, I'm going to just jump around a bit to get to the main points. Authorities were asked to conduct a welfare check on Arseth after she couldn't be contacted, with officers obtaining a key from apartment management and entering her home. They immediately encountered a gruesome scene, the complaint says. Victim was down on her living room floor in a pool of blood with an apparent gunshot wound to her head. And, that's all she wrote. But hey, a little example and a major example of the things that are going to be coming towards, the majority of you women with the days going forward. But now let's get back to these precepts, because best believe this is ultimately great judgment from Yahweh Bahashem Yahawashi coming down on you women. First and foremost, you Israelite women, for your rebelliousness, turning against your power, turning against your nation, turning against your man, playing the harlot out here, spiritually and physically. But this is Isaiah 32, verse 9. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. And, even still, while things are getting tight, these women are living at ease. You got your simp orbiters around you, one to pay the light bill, one to buy you food, one to listen to your problems that you're having with the guy that's actually fucking you. You still got these government benefits, these not so cushy anymore little jobs. You can still be, independent. I don't need no man. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. And that vintage includes, these government benefits, welfare, SNAP, Section 8, and, these government or public sector jobs you can get to allow you to be independent. Calling 911, men coming at your beck and call to help you if you're having any issues, though we're starting to see a lot of that dry up as well with men, again, looking at red pill content and MGTOW. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. And right now with this situation, out here, though it's not bad, the best thing you Israelite women could be doing is, coming in that humble spirit and repenting, to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and hey, finding a man of the Lord out here, which, I'm not campaigning, for a bunch of women to be coming my way or anything like that, but ultimately, that's how you're going to be saved, getting under the wing of a man of the Lord, because he's going to have the protection of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai over him, and that's going to trickle down to you. And I'm also not saying just go rush out there and find a man of the Lord. If you got a man you're already dealing with, hey, treat that man as your husband, and actually be a helpmeet to him. And sisters out there that don't have a man, pray to the Lord and just get yourself right, and in due time everything's going to come into its proper order. Verse 12, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Upon the land of my people shall come up thorns and briers, judgment, death, famines, pestilences, civil unrest, martial law, Jacob's trouble. Yeah, upon all the houses of joy in all the joyous city. But now I'm going to jump up to verse 2, because like I've been saying throughout the video, ultimately how you women are going to be saved is getting under the wing of a man of the Lord. This is Isaiah 32, verse 2. And a man shall be as an hiding place from the wind, from the judgment, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of waters in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. Because the men of the Lord, and hey, as we're seeing with each passing day, the tabernacle of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is dealing with GMS, or great millstone, as well as the men coming in the spirit of GMS. Hey, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to be on a man of the Lord's side in that day, like the book of Eli, getting them through all these calamities. And to the women that cleave unto them and are actually accepted, hey, that man is going to be that covert and that hiding place from the wind and the tempest. And I mean, when you go back and watch the movie, The Book of Eli, those different instances where women saw the power that he had, what did they do? They cleaved unto him, and they were protected by that same protection he had. But now I'm going to jump to Isaiah 13 and 12. I will make a man, more specifically, a man of the Lord, more precious than fine gold. And when you read in Zechariah 13, what does it say about the 1/3 of the elect in America? They shall be tried as gold is tried in the fire. Precious. Go through that heat, or that judgment of Jacob's trouble, and come out on the other end. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man the golden wedge of Ophir, because he's going to have the protection of the Lord over him. And then, even then, there's going to be a time where you're going to have these average men out here, and women are going to be coming to them for protection, and they might do their thing here or there, but it's only going to last so long before judgment comes upon them as well. What this is all ultimately leading to is the most hated precept in the Bible by you women specifically, hey, especially you so-called black women. Actually, I'll start at Isaiah chapter 3, verses 25 to 26, because like I just said, outside of the men of the Lord, you're going to have, men do their thing here and there, but they don't have the Lord's protection. So eventually they're going to get judged. So that's going to leave, the men of the Lord as the last men standing. And you women going to be asked out here without them. Thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty men in the war. Men getting killed by other men on the streets of America during civil wars, race wars, martial law. Then a lot of men getting drafted to go fight and die in World War III. And her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Hey, the vintage failing, and the women, the careless women going through those thorns and briers. gird ye sackcloth and, mourn out here. But this is Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And what does the header say? A remnant prepared. And in that day, 7 women, which just means a complete amount of women for whatever the Lord has allotted, that particular man of the Lord to get. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Hey, we don't care if you don't have the 3 6s, 6 foot tall, a 6-pack, 6 figures. We just need you to, be that covert, that protection over us from all these calamities that are coming our way. And ultimately, how is a woman called by a man's name? Through sex, as it says in the New Testament, and she shall be saved in childbearing. So, it would behoove you women out there, you Israelite women that know of the truth and come across these videos. Hey, if you haven't been already, hey, better be getting your mind right, because as we saw from those 2 examples, these men and society is getting much more hostile towards you out here. And to the women that don't want to get right, hey, you're going to get left. This is Micah chapter 7, verse 10. And especially you women who have been with the man of the Lord and, gave him hell, cheated on him, left him, took his kids, or you're currently with one and just giving him hell. Micah 7 and 10. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is Yahweh thy power? Mine eye shall behold her. Now she shall be trodden down as the mire, the mud of the streets. Hey, getting put down out here. And, to you brothers out there, any woman, especially if she knew the truth, that gave you hell or left you, hey, you're going to see her just desserts when everything's said and done. But, that's it with this video. With this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. We are almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharallah, and until next time, Shalom.